Y2K style streetwear is super popular right now, and if you're planning on selling more shirts or getting started on selling shirts, then you don't want to miss this design trend, and you don't want to miss how easy it is for you to make it using Kittl. So to speed up your design process, I'm showing you step by step how to make a streetwear design in the Y2K style, and we're going to put it on a shirt and on a hoodie. And if you don't have Kittl yet or don't know what it is, it's our design tool that works right in your browser. Go ahead and sign up for free using the link down below, and let's get started making our design. So to get started, I am going to use these mythological creatures, and we're going to make a design that's kind of based off of this Medusa head right here. And you might actually see a lot of streetwear that has these kind of like Roman or Greek kind of godlike deity components mixed with like really intense new age chromish looking typography and things like that. But I'm going to mix this one with these HUD elements, these kind of futuristic elements that you see here that are like very either kind of spaceship or like technical vibes. And this is also a common thing to mix these kind of futuristic components with the past as well. And so I'm just going to change some colors because we're going to change our background to be this gray because we want the really dark gray to be like our shirt or hoodie design or something like that. That's the color that we want it to be. And then I'm going to make these HUD elements, the outlines, kind of this like lighter purple. And that's kind of a theme that we're going to go with, is this really bright neon green mixed with this kind of pastel purple. And so what I'm going to do is just search for some other things I can find. Maybe this little like process bar right here, this kind of loading bar, just kind of making a cool design. It doesn't have to like mean a whole lot. That's another kind of fact about streetwear sort of, is like sometimes it does make sense, sometimes it's just cool. So by the way, you can hide the rest of your artboard if you hit W. And I'm going to use these wavy grids as well. It's another kind of futuristic looking component. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and then what I'm going to do is right click and send it to the back because I don't need it in front of the Medusa head. And then what I'm going to do is make it that purple. So now you can kind of see the theme of the green and the purple come into life. Now I'm going to make my own little bar element here by making sure that the thickness is the same as that other kind of loading bar. And then what we're going to do is add some futuristic style typography, and I've already got it right here. And we're going to type in 2023 for this, and then of course we need to make sure that it fits down in the size of this box right here, and we're going to change the color as well. And you can play around with the different fonts that we have in here. For that one I'm using kind of the generic one for that. And so now let's go and let's make another shape right here, so just this basic shape. And what we're going to do is kind of create our own little framing elements. And so if I make this the same thickness as everything else, or I guess the same thinness, I can make it that pastel looking purple. And then what I can do is just combine it with these shapes right here. And then what I'll do is kind of make a little frame for this section where the Medusa head is, put it over here on the right. Now you can see how that's kind of coming together just with the use of simple lines, which is another really interesting thing about streetwear. So now I'm on the Wikipedia page for Medusa, and all I'm really doing is looking for some pretty epic words to use, just as filler words, because that's another thing about streetwear, especially in the Y2K style, is that mixed with the typography, there's a lot of filler text. I think this one looks really cool. Metamorphoses or metamorphosis or something like that. So let's make this one meta. We're going to make meta really, really big. So let's use this. Let's use this grotesque one right here, this basement grotesque font right here. And if I make it really, really big, all caps like this, you can see that it takes up the space really nicely. And then all we have to do is start sizing it up to make sure that it fits the same space as the Medusa head right here. So that's really nice. I'm going to make the outline the same as the purple. And then what we can do is we can fill out the rest of the word, so morphosis right here. And then what I'm going to do is make it all down the middle like this in a row. I don't want to turn it. I want to make sure that one's easier to read. Give it that same outline, and I'm kind of using this new Meister black lettery style font here. Hey, real quick, if you're getting value out of this streetwear tutorial, I'd appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up and that red subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. And by the way, a couple weeks back, I did a video with one of the streetwear masters, Rich from Hustle Ninjas. He came on and we did a full video breaking down streetwear entries to a challenge that we hosted together, and he gave some amazing tips and tricks. So if you're getting into streetwear, definitely go check that out. I'll link it right here, and I'll also link Rich's channel below for you to check out. All right, let's get back to the tutorial. And so now I want text to go all the way across from the left to right, and so I think this Maid of the Terror is pretty insane and it probably look really cool on the shirt. So I'm just going to copy that text really easily, boom, pop it in right here. I want to fill it so that it's easier to see, so let's make it the whole purple so that you can see it really easily. And then if I hit the justify button there, boom, you can see it's really filling out the rest of the space, and you don't have to increase all your letter spacing individually. You can just hit the justify key and boom, it goes all the way across. Now we can start playing with the other HUD elements. Let's use these two right here. I think that they will work, and they're not as heavy as that third one up there. So now all I'm going to do is kind of just play with the layout, make sure that my colors are correct, do a little bit of fine tweaking, and then I'm going to make my own component right here out of a simple shape. I just need to make sure the thinness is there, the thinness, the outline of the box matches the other ones. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this little phrase right here from the story, this little 2-line phrase that talks about the Gorgons. And then all I have to do is add some text. By the way, you can hit the T button to easily add text. And then what I'll do is I'll just click in and then just change that text really easily. I just copied it and pasted it. And now what I'm going to do is find a cool font. I think this one called Milkman is cool because it has these kind of like black letter style capital letters. So I'm going to change a couple of them, and it makes a really cool effect like that. So now what I'm going to do is put respect the, and I'm going to use this one called Mixel. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if you type in M, it should come up, and it's a variable font, which is really cool. So this one right here, this top text says respect the, and then I'm going to put deity underneath it. But what's really cool about this specific font is that depending on your variable weight, it's going to kind of give you a different effect. So let me make this a little bit smaller so that it's not so specific. It's not like the focal point of this. And then what I can do is duplicate it, write deity, so it says respect the deity, and you can see how with that variable weight, and now it's condensed, which is really cool, and I think that looks pretty nice above the Medusa head. So now we're going to do another little section about the tail, like basically the tail of Medusa and what that's about. And so all I'm going to do is go back to the Wikipedia and grab this paragraph, boom, pop it in there like this. And this is just really for filler text. You can see how I've made it that square with the justify button. And now what I'm going to do is add this kind of like unicorn-y horse, dragon, seahorse thing. Forgive me for not knowing exactly what that is, but I think it looks awesome. So now we're going to add some more wavy grids behind it. I think this one looks really cool, and it'll make a cool effect if we put it kind of crisscross behind it. So let's put this one to the back, and then let's make this that same purple. Now all we need to do is duplicate that and then switch it to the other side, which, by the way, if you hit Command or Control C and V, that will duplicate it for you. And now you can see this kind of cross wavy kind of adds a lot of depth here. So now let's just add some spot elements in that green to just fill some of the space that's around the rest of our full rectangle. You can see it's a full rectangle space, and that's what we want. And so now all we need to do is add some grunge. Also a very streetwear Y2K style is this grunge effect. And if I hit the alpha mask and then clip it, what's going to happen is it's only going to apply to the design itself, not the background, which is nice because we just need to download the design. We don't need the background with it, of course, because we want it to make sure that it's the actual shirt design. So if we use this alpha mask, it's actually going to cut through. It's going to cut that out, basically. It's going to give this cool transparency effect. And these are all kind of nice, but I think maybe that first one was a little bit better, that just kind of simple grudge, but you can play around with it. And here's our completed design. You can see here mocked up on a shirt. So I hope you have a ton of fun making your own streetwear designs. Now, if you want to see other tutorials using Kittl, I have these videos here on my right that I know you're going to enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos and features and things like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.